Thank you, Chairman. General, good to see you again. Last year, we moved some nice legislation with the Veterans Trust Fund. I have a question about the actual veterans designation on the driver's license. I know when we passed that, it was projected it was going to take a little while to get it up and running, and I was wondering if PennDOT had given you any kind of update.
PennDOT is working on that. Instead of a V, they're looking now at an American flag with the word veteran under it, which I think is really great. It looks super. Everyone has seen the mock-up of that, really likes it. It's several months away. They've been given, I think, 18 months, I think, to do it. I've been giving them the poke every once in a while. So hopefully this will be up fairly soon, hopefully before the end of this year.
I've got a lot of guys back home that are really looking forward to this. And frankly, I think your projection at the time that sales of these license plate would take off was spot on. I've had a lot of inquiries, not by the veteran, but by the family of the veteran that wants to buy that as a gift for their loved one. And I think that's going to be very exciting for the Veterans Trust Fund in the future. If you don't mind, I'd like to harken back just a minute to my good friend from Lancaster's question. Use of unmanned aerial surveillance in Pennsylvania. You said right now you are held to the airspace over the gap.
Right, what's controlled airspace, yes.
Do you have a similar limitation in the Pittsburgh area with the 9/11 Air Wing?
I can't fly them anywhere in the state of Pennsylvania except over Fort Indiantown Gap.
No drug interdiction, national or natural disaster monitoring, nothing like that?
No, sir.
So if we see one of these things flying outside the gap, that means you got the order from somebody higher up than all of us to go ahead and do it, right?
Yes, sir, and that has not occurred.
Okay, reason I asked, I was watching the news the other day, which I rarely get to do anymore, and I see 7 states in the Gulf Coast are currently experiencing civilian overflights using drone aircraft. I believe they identified Alabama, Louisiana, Texas, Florida, and a few others. I don't want to be next, is where I'm going with this, General. But if we are, the reason I asked about drug interdiction, the other day we had the Attorney General here, and she said the flow of drugs from one specific ethnic group was identified and virulent and apparent. And I'm wondering if we are going to deploy these resources paid for out of taxpayer dollars, just how far does the application go?
Now, at this point, we have used our counter-drug to fly rotary wing aircraft, looking primarily for marijuana fields, and that's been ongoing for several years now. And that's the OH-58 aircraft, which is a small Vietnam-era 4-bladed helicopter. But there's no plan to use drones, and I will tell you, flying drones outside of controlled airspace, because the drone can't see where it's going, it has a camera that looks down the ground,
right.
But there's another airplane there, it doesn't know it. So now you got one airplane that's flying blind. So the FAA is absolute in that, saying you can't do it because of the fact to avoid mid-air collisions.
Well, thank you very much, General. Hey, and by the way, guys from the 110th and the 112th are best in the world, civilians, patriots, citizens. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Representative.